l'électronique. Et puis au fur et à mesure, je me suis dit, oui, il n'y a pas assez, donc j'ai fait rentrer. Donc toi, par exemple, tu étais passé, je me suis dit la même chose, mais je n'entends pas l'électronique qu'il y avait avant, et donc je l'ai monté. Donc c'est aussi ça, probablement. Good.
Okay. On commence
Bon,
ça?
oui, oui.
I used all the recordings, or at least the sax recordings, not the recordings of the treatments, of course, that gave me the possibility of developing and perfect, quote unquote, all the different treatments. And so I reworked all the treatments to make them more complex, denser, more performant. I realized in doing this that it's more or less the same type of approach that I do with electroacoustic music, meaning like from the sound, from the material, from the specificity of sound, to try to find different ways of putting them together, of organizing them with the others. I need this matter to work. It's not an abstract approach where I have shapes and ideas and that puts things in it. It's like I build it from these elements, and then I imagine how we could put together a sequence, or things like this.
Aussi parce que ça perce, c'est-à-dire on entend cette voix par rapport à tout le reste, ça va toujours s'entendre. Ça c'est bien des choses qui sont très visibles.
C'est la suite.
The suite, the logical follow-up, normal follow-up without rupture or change of direction of what we did in October, meaning that in the meantime, the treatments and the types of sounds, the ways of playing were more refined, more defined. And so with each musician, I did 2 rehearsals with the musicians individually to choose, refine, correct, etc., the parameters. And so at the basis of that, I was able to set up really a series of events, as it were. For each musician, they have a series of events. So he plays for a moment, pause, plays again, pause, plays again. And every time he's going to play, he will further the series, if you will, of treatments. So every time he plays, he'll have like another reaction from the machine. And so that's indicated. That's shown, and for the moments that he plays during the event, there's like some envelopes that are very free interpretation, but it's intensity based, and a description, often a written description of the type of activity. So glissandi, screams, very agitated, catastrophic, things of that nature to indicate the spirit with which he should interpret that particular drawing and interact with the So keeping in mind always something of the order of a natural event, a storm, an avalanche, a hurricane, with level of energy, an extreme level of energy from beginning to end without break, with changes and different variations within that, but with something that sets off and is just falls like that, like it's like drawn by gravity in an inexorable way. So impersonal, no emotional content. It's something that that I wanted, that by listening to that, one has an experience. Challenges, well, technical challenges due to the great proximity of the microphones and the speakers, and also the sound level that is quite high. Feedback. Okay, so that was one thing that had to be managed and to adjust, and it depends on the space. Of course, we did rehearsals 1 week before coming here. The acoustic was totally different. So we had another problem like that, and feedback can be, like all sounds are treated, feedback's not always bad. It's just like you have to be able to control it. So that's one thing that we had to adjust and all the time. And then acoustically speaking, by coming here to find a positioning of the musicians and orientation of the speakers to be able to have a full sound, but not too aggressive or frontal. And for reasons that I'm not really sure of, it's not the same as that we found in October. Very, very close to what I had imagined, and even more radically so. So it was good. So the challenge, this music exists in concert because I asked the musicians to really give all, intensity-wise, energy-wise, and they can't do that lightly and during a rehearsal. So to know what is the music, you have to make a concert. You have to give a concert.
Mais disons aussi, oui, une note comme ça quand il est déformé, ou quand c'est un truc, un slap, c'est une note, mais comme il fait. Donc, déjà comme c'est écrit.
As it's written for saxotronic quatuor, each musician plays saxophone and electronic as one instrument. So that's very important. All the musicians are in the four corners, if you will, in the space, with the public in the center, in the middle. They don't look at the audience. They don't look at each other. And the loudspeakers are not aimed at the public either. And they play with an energy and an intensity absurdly extreme from beginning to end, without there being any kind of dialogue between themselves. So, and without them talking to us either. They exist as such. In order to put it, let's say that each one follows his own path in a totally inexorable way. the music may need to be received physically, to vibrate the entire body. If you don't hear it that way, it loses its sense. With a lot of energy and enthusiasm, we do all these things, and it's an enormous pleasure, really. For me, because I do a lot of electroacoustic electronic music, either I interpret it or write it in studio, I work with musicians, that's not in my habits, really. And so for me, all of that is relatively new as an experience. And what I take away from it, of course, is, for me, it's very positive because of the availability. If I had to work with people who were far away, distant, who just got a written partition, whatever, I wouldn't be able to do it.